According to the Census Bureau, shit is about to get real. Things are about to get real. The Census Bureau states that 3.8 million renters will most likely be evicted in the next 2 months. And also, according to the Bureau, reason being is because we're actually in a rental crisis, which could be unknown to you and possibly was unknown to me because I'm not a renter. But for renters, I'm pretty sure that they're well aware. According to the Census Bureau, they say for the first time ever, the median rent in the United States topped $2,000 a month back in June. And the increase shows no sign of stopping. It also states that rising rents means that households representing a total of 8.5 million people were behind on their rent at the end of August, according to the Census Bureau, when they did their figuring out. And also that the 3.8 million of those renters say that they're somewhat or very likely to be evicted in the next 2 months. It's a combination of soaring inflation, which we know that things are inflating, because I went and bought coffee today and coffee is up. Food is up. And the food that's up is the things that we use the most. They really skyrocketed the things that we need the most, like meat, rice, beans, sugar, salt, seasonings. They put a big jump on that if you ever go to your market and look. And still, us coming out of this pandemic, if you notice, the shelves at the stores are still staying somewhat empty or very low. And they also said that most eviction and rental assistance payments or extremely low vacancy rates has pushed rents up and many renters out of their apartment or home that they were renting. So we have to be well aware of what the hell is going on. While we're running around here being messy, we definitely are going to miss the boat. While we're running around being ununified, you're going to get what you're going to get. So it would behoove you to sit down with your family and say, hey, we're going to have to come up with a plan. Because if you don't, and shit going the way it's going, it's going to hurt. It's going to knock a patch out you. It's basically like everybody has to go. You have to get on go mode. You can't be sitting around twiddling your thumbs. And it also is said that rents are nearly up 25% since before the pandemic. And that since 2006, rents have risen faster than home prices. But at the same time, the shortage of available rental units has been steadily increasing since the Great Recession. So, rental rates are up 25%. So we have to pay attention to that as well. 25% since before the pandemic, with an increase of 15% in just the past 12 months. And this is according to the real estate tracking service Zillow. Evictions are up as well, according to the eviction lab at Princeton University. They say that in August, evictions were 52% above average in Tampa and 90% above average in Houston and 94% above average in Minneapolis. Now, think about this. I live in California. We know Texas is cheaper than California. So if they're getting hit like that, think about people in California. They definitely have to be getting hit pretty hard too. Because in Houston, Texas, evictions are up 90%. That's damn near everybody. Now, think about California. It's got to be up. They don't mention California in the article, but it definitely has to be up. And also, the National Low Income Housing Coalition, they reported on it and said that 12 states and the District of Columbia had distributed half of their last assistance allocations, while Idaho and Iowa and Ohio hadn't spent any of that money. And 2 states, Nebraska and Arkansas, they refused to accept federal rent assistance money. So those states are saying, hey, we're going to keep it hard for you. So they're going to make you unify whether you want to or whether you don't. You're not going to have a choice. So while the adults are up here trying to think they're going to fly under the radar, it's not going to happen. Not with renters increase going up in that rate. It's going up fast. So people are going to have to unify. And I can remember 20 years ago or so when everybody was talking about the Mexicans. All the Mexicans, they all live together. They already seen it coming. While you was over there talking about them, now guess what? You're going to be in their same shoes when all they were doing were unifying anyway. That's why I always tell people, you have to take a play out of other people's playbook. That's what's going to make you a great player on the field if you play sports and in life. It's going to make you a great player because you're taking plays out of everybody's playbook and you're using them on your chessboard to make moves. But what do black people do? We wait to the last minute every time. When the shit hit the fan, now we're ready to unify. It's too late. Now we're ready to come together in the one spot and make it happen. It's too late. It's too late. Fastest people getting evicted in the United States, you'll be too late because you didn't take heed to the warning signs. And when you don't take heed to the warning signs, shit gonna bite you in the ass. So I'm gonna tell you, if you're able to now, you better jump on it. You better unify with your family and get on the ball. Or else, it's gonna make y'all separate anyway. Everybody gonna be like, hey, I'm heading this way for the hills. I don't know what you're gonna do, but I'm about to do this. That's why you have to sit down and have that round table and say, hey, this is what's going on out here. This is what we're gonna have to do. If you don't want to hear it or take it lightly, guess what? You're gonna find out. Because like me, personally, I'm always a person that likes to be ahead of the curve. I'm always going to jump ahead of the curve. When I see the curve coming, I'm trying to jump ahead of it. It's just like when you go to the beach and the big wave coming. I'm always trying to get to the low land before the wave hits you and knock you a flip. I'm already swimming fast. As soon as I see that wave way in the ocean, I see it coming. Hurry up and start heading back. I ain't trying to ride the wave. I'm trying to beat the wave. And that's what you're going to have to do. If you don't, you're going to find out. You're going to either find out now or you're going to find out later. Later meaning very fast later. Meaning later meaning early. It's not going to be later like you think. It's going to be later meaning early at the rate things are going out here. So people better wake up and realize that it's real out here. It's getting real in the field. If you don't, I don't know what to say for you. All I can do is pray for you. Because I'm jumping ahead of the wave. I see the storm coming. I'm going to get myself ready. So you have to get yourself ready. It's just like when the weatherman tell you, hey, it's a storm coming your way. You still going to go out without an umbrella? You're supposed to take an umbrella anyway, even if the storm passes you and don't hit. But he already forewarned you. That's what the Census Bureau is doing. They're forewarning the United States people. And for the naive people that don't believe it to be true, they're going to have a rude awakening. So that's something to think about. That's something to get a grasp on and say, whoa, it's real. And it gets so real in Houston, Texas. Remember I told you 90% evictions in Houston, Texas, right? Well, just on Saturday, a man who had recently been evicted from a Houston rental facility set a fire outside the complex, and when the other tenants ran out, he started shooting and killing them. He killed 3 of them, and 2 are in the hospital, and they don't have life-threatening injuries, but they were hit, probably buckshots, because he had a shotgun. And they're trying to figure, well, what made him shoot these people? He got evicted. You have to think about that. The reason, I don't know, and the media report doesn't say. All they say is he was recently evicted from where he was renting at. And then early Sunday morning, he set the place on fire. And when the other tenants ran out because of the fire, he started shooting them. Eventually, the police killed him. But at the same time, think about if we try to tie the things together. They have a 90% eviction rate over there in Houston. Hey, this fella, 40-year-old, a man in his 40s, he lived in Houston too. He lived in Houston. And they have a 90% eviction rate in Houston today. And he got evicted. And what did he do? He set a fire outside the facility. And when the people ran out, he started gunning them. Think about it. Is that what this whole eviction thing is going to do to people? Because you know when people get evicted, they get angry. They'll tear up your property, burn your property. They do things because they got evicted. But now think with these high prices. The median number is $2,000 a month. Yeah, it's not a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money to some. But to others, it's a lot of money. Some people can't come up with $2,000 a month. See, it's all tying in, right? That's where the unification is going to have to come in. So why would you have a house full of adults and only one of them pays $2,000? doesn't make sense, right? No, everybody has to split the whole running of the house. Call your house a facility, or you can even call it a company. To make this company run, everybody has to play their part, or should I say, pay their part to make the company run. And that's how it's going to have to be. Or else, you're going to have people like this 40-something-year-old man who got evicted, set the place on fire, and was waiting for the people to run outside and gun down some innocent tenants because he was highly pissed off. See? So we have to think, people. We're going to have to think about it. Because if you don't, it's going to be a lot of turmoil coming down the pipeline in your life. You have to think about it. You have to think about it before it happens. Or else you're going to get misery. It's going to be misery for you. It's going to be hard times if you don't think about things before they happen. People get on me a lot about that. You're always thinking about the what ifs. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking, in my opinion. If I think about what if, that means it's going to make me change the way I'm thinking, and I'm not just going to be just a flamboyant thinker. No, I'm going to be a cautious thinker, but yet I can be flamboyant thinking too. So I'm going to put it right there in the center. I'm not going to be so cautious where I'm scared, but I'm not going to be so loose where I don't care. See? So we have to do the things that we do. We have to do them in the right way. We can't allow ourselves to get caught with our pants down. The Census Bureau is telling us. At the same time, we see a man in Houston who just killed 3 people and shoot 5 of them, but killed 3 of them because he was evicted. The Census Bureau just told you 90% of people in Houston are being evicted. And then what you say, oh, well, it's not me. It can be you. So you have to think about it. And for people out there renting, I know they know, because they're seeing this rent hike. They're seeing the hike. If you're not renting, you probably don't see it. Or if you're an adult that live with your parents, you probably don't see it. But it's hikes moving. It's inflation. We're in an inflation right now. And people ain't paying attention. But you're going to have to. You're going to have to pay attention. Because this inflation going to catch you. And you don't know where it's going to send you. If I want to keep it 1,000, it could get you caught slipping out here. See, so while we worried about being messy and back and forth with other people, we need to keep our eyes on the prize and see what's really going on out here. This is what's really going on. We're in an inflation. Inflation can lead to a recession. And that's when shit looks ugly. So we need to pay attention to the Census Bureau and see what the hell is going on. Because maybe to some, 3.8 million people evicted might not seem like a lot. But it seems like a lot if your ass is one of them. If we want to be G with it, right? If you're one of the 3.8 million, it's a lot to you. Because you're the one in that predicament. It might not seem like it to me because I'm not in that predicament. But never think at a shadow of a doubt that you can't be in that position. Because you can end up in the same position as the next man. So don't get it twisted. So when you see things that affects the whole United States, you have to definitely pay attention to them and try to make sure that you don't get caught up in that whirlwind. That's what you definitely going to have to do. because you can get caught up in it. But you got to pay attention to the warning signs. The Census Bureau is giving us a warning sign. So for the people that's renting, I feel for them. Think about it. They going up on these rents. They said some of the people's monthly increase was from $100 to $250. Some of them was $250 to $500. And some, the $500, they couldn't even afford to stay in their apartments. They had to move. But that's why you have to be smarter. Why move? Unify. Stop trying to cheat the system. You got to pay into the company. Where you live is a company. You're going to have to pay into it. So you're going to have to unify. That's why you see a lot of these shows where the people are going on homesteads, bringing all their family that's like-minded, and they're buying acres of land, putting manufactured homes on it, building homes on it, and they're coming together as a whole, as a one unit. It's going to get down to that too. But you have to be ready for it. If it gets down to that, you have to have money to buy acres of land. While we're running around here buying our fun, you have to be buying your business mind and say, hey, I can have fun, but I'm going to make sure that I'm guaranteed a roof over my head. Because with no roof over your head, you can't even think and plan to be successful, because you need a good night's rest. So how are you going to get a good night's rest when you're study worried about where you're going to lay your head the next day? So I'm just going to tell you what I see. I see that black people don't like to unify, but I see the way that things are moving, it's going to make them unify. And that's glory to the Most High, because the Most High has a way of making you do the right thing that you're supposed to do without your permission. So it's going to make you unify. The way that this Census Bureau is putting out this information, that means it's coming your way. You're going to feel the effects of it in some form or fashion. And it's going to make you have to unify. And with that, I'm going to say this is the news in you. North, east, west, south. Unite from every alley in Cali, intersection and back street. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way out that door.
I'm not who you think I am. Your perception is a lesson with a fail grade on it. Steady living life like I would never see the morning. True shit, man, I'm more than pain, I'm more than stain on sidewalk, I'm more than black skin on my face. Destined to be great, gotta elevate mind. Elevation is the game that I gotta play, gotta win, gotta find escape to a better day.